What's up, guys? I'm John Camacho. This is Between the Pylons, and this is the Rookie Watch episode for Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback, 22nd overall pick out of Toledo. This was probably my favorite defensive player in the class. And guys, you look right across, right over my shoulder here. I'm a big Dolphins fan, all right? And I was super excited when the Dolphins were on the clock with the 21st pick, and Quinyon Mitchell, a guy who I genuinely believed was a lock to be a top 15 pick, and then an extra lock to be a top 20 pick. He somehow falls to 22 overall, genuinely just because he played at Toledo. Like, that's it. Everything else about him, there was no doubt. Like, if this dude played at Alabama, he's a top 5 pick. I really believe that's kind of what we're dealing with here. Anyway, brokenhearted. Absolutely brokenhearted. I understand that corner probably wasn't the biggest need the Dolphins had. They needed an edge rusher. We reached on one. That's a subject for another video. But the Dolphins' misguided need over talent pick at 21 overall left the Eagles with, in my opinion, one of the steals of the first round in Quinyon Mitchell. And he's playing really well. And look, this conversation probably does need to go in tandem with the Cooper DeJean pick that happened in the second round. I'm doing a video on that too. I'll be wearing the same shirt. I'm recording it right after I'm done recording this. It'll come out a day after this video comes out. So if you're interested in that, check it out. But today we're going to talk about Quinyon Mitchell. Let's get right into it here. If you look at his season-long stats, yes, he's allowed 19 receptions on 34 targets for 254 yards. I'm really more of looking at what he's done recently. Last 3 games, you look at 5 receptions for 41 total yards. With these types of stats, they're so dependent on situation that you kind of have to take it with multiple grains of salt, but it's definitely worth noting. And then you look at some of his best games. I'm just going to put it on the screen right now for you guys. The receivers that he's faced and the yards that he's allowed, and I got this off Twitter, that's some really great numbers. And look, it says on the tweet, he is the future. He really is. And then, of course, versus Mike Evans, Drake London, versus, some of the top receivers in the league, you see some really excellent stuff. And as it says, it's a solid start. And, all right, let's get into some of the film here. And we're going to start off with a play here that isn't, obviously he's not going to be on his highlight reel anytime soon. This is a reception against Ja'Marr Chase, but I really like what he does here. Again, as you're going to see, as this play develops, he immediately is keeping that outside leverage, right? So he's allowing anything that stems to the inside is kind of going to be a free release just based on how he's playing this. He's not allowing anything. He's responsible for the boundary and for the outside, right? So any outside releasing routes are going to be something that he's fighting against, right? And Ja'Marr Chase, he's an elite wide receiver. He's going to do these things to everybody in the league. But as you see, running with him, Ja'Marr Chase fights through that and really gets a little handsy. I think that's a push-off. I'd love to see another angle there, and is able to get to the outside. But even that, man, I like the aggressiveness. I like the fight. Got to be a little bit stronger at the point of attack. Can't let him get outside when you're in position. He's in the perfect position the entire time. Ja'Marr Chase fights through it. To me, that looks like a little bit of a push-off there, but, maybe not perfectly clean, but I'm kind of okay with football players playing football a little bit, stuff like this. I'd like to just see no flag thrown from a fan's perspective. And, not a win, but in my opinion, we can work with that. I got another one here for you. This is obviously going to be a lot shorter, just to show him versus Malik Nabers here. Love press corner stuff, man. I love it. I love somebody who's going to be nasty, get in his face. This is the only question I had. Again, and I'll play this through a couple more times as I explain it. The only thing that we didn't really know coming out of the draft was, how's he going to man up and play against guys like this? Is he going to have that physical edge? Is he going to have that physicality that he brings to the position? He was great in college with it, but it was Toledo. There weren't a ton of snaps versus NFL talent that we saw. And then, of course, he goes to Senior Bowl, crushes Senior Bowl, and did everything you wanted to see. Athletically, I know he can run. I know he can. I know he can do all the things that we need him to do from an outside corner perspective. This dude can be an elite shutdown dude. So again, stuff like that where it's just 1v1, man versus man, play some fucking football and get going. I love it, man. That's my shit. I love it. Sorry, you get a little bit little bit of language in there, but I think we can all handle it, right? One more clip here, and then we will move on. All right, so first I want to show you guys what Joe Burrow sees and what Joe Burrow does. So we're going to play this right here. And real quick, we're going to see a pump fake right there. Looks it off and has to make another decision. Ends up throwing it to, I think that's Zach Moss out there, for a very minimal gain, right? So that's what Joe Burrow had to do. What was Joe Burrow looking at? I bet you can probably guess. It's a slant route. Pretty basic. Let's play it through here for you guys. Ja'Marr Chase kind of fakes outside. You get one step. Quinyon Mitchell stays in phase the entire way. In phase, and just shuts down this slant route. It's never open. It's supposed to be open. Ja'Marr Chase is really, really good at getting open on this route. And you can see, if you look at Joe Burrow right here, this is where he's supposed to be open. He's not. Let it go. Move on. Special stuff, guys. I really believe this is a guy who is doing everything right at this point, midway through his rookie season, and I think it's only going to progress. I think this is a guy that is going to develop from, in my opinion, already a really good outside corner in the NFL to elite of the elite, to top 3. You know, everybody's talking about you when you got to play the Eagles type of thing, right? And look, it's looking great. I think just from a player perspective, as far as like the type of rookie season they had, I feel like I look at Patrick Surtain a couple years ago with the Broncos, had a similar rookie season where it was like, okay, you know, it's looking good, it's looking solid. He's developing, and then all of a sudden, a couple years later, yeah, Patrick Surtain's an elite top 3 corner in the league. Sauce Gardner a couple years ago with the Jets. Now he had way more publicity around him just because I think he was a top 5 pick, I think, top 6, something like that, and also went to the Jets. So huge market. Just all of those things made what was already a really special rookie season even bigger. Now, Mitchell would probably need to up those interceptions. He hasn't gotten an interception yet, but he's been close. Like, he's right on the edge. They're going to come. I guarantee you that. And, you know, he probably isn't going to have the Sauce Gardner level rookie season. But, hey, there's 8 more games left, and he could make a lot of noise down the stretch. I could see him winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. I still think that's in play for him. Like, he's got to get the interceptions up to kind of win an award like that, but he's playing well. He's matching up against elite NFL talent, and he's at the very least having a lot of stalemate type games, and winning some of those games. So as from his matchup perspective, not just talking about the Eagles in general, but man, you want to talk about the Eagles in general. What a team, dude. Like, y'all just keep drafting insane players. I mean, already mentioned Cooper DeJean. You got a great defensive line with the young, awesome talent there. Your linebacker core with Nakobe Dean is awesome. Like, just at every single level, especially just defensively speaking, it's awesome. And then you look at the other side of the ball, it's special, man. What the Eagles have done from a talent acquisition standpoint is something that, like, I feel like I could write a book on, just because everything that they've done is just, it's next level. It really is. It's good stuff. But I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Would love it if you click that subscribe button and help out a small channel. Would really appreciate it. But hey, thank you so much for watching. Peace.